Alright, welcome back guys. I'm Kill2, I'm here with Zastro, and we have one of the better matches for the day, Darkside versus Razor. Both teams definitely could be competitors for the finals. Darkside did really amazing last year, Razor always does really well. So this should be a really good match. What do you think, Zastro?
I want to say Razor. They're on my fantasy team that I picked for the Eve radio fantasy lineup, and of course, they're broceps of us. But so far, what I've been noticing all day long is the smaller alliances have beaten the bigger alliance. I think every single time. I could be wrong, but uh, I think it's 100% small alliances are beating big alliances right now. So Razor, you got your work cut out for me. Switch that around.
Alright, we're underway now, and as you can see from the setups, we have kind of a typical speed setup for Darkside, kind of typical of last tournament. Cyclone, Slipner, Scimitar, and then some support Sentinel, Jaguar, Saber, whereas on the right we have a much more AT10 kind of setup, in my mind. 3 Brutix, supported by an Oneros and 2 Ishkers, which is really interesting match. There's going to be a lot of support determining the way this goes, I feel like. Both in the form of the Sentinel, Jaguar Saber on the Darkside team, and then also kind of the Ishkers being responsible for getting targets for the Brutixes to actually tackle. Although it looks like they're all pretty blobbed up right now on top of the Razor Oneros, who is starting to go down, whereas Darkside has very little to no damage taken at all.
Yeah, it's not going to look good for Razor if they lose that Oneros without knocking anything out on the dark side of the board.
Yeah, obviously that would hurt. It's interesting looking at the EWAR effects. I feel totally obsessed by that in this new interface, which is taking me a while to get used to. But Brutix is under tracking disruption, which is obviously going to be coming from the Sentinel and probably also the Jaguar, maybe also the Saber. We're seeing newts come and go, which could be on, the Cyclone can have newts, Sentinel obviously will, and Slipner could too, but probably not because of needing room for Gainlings.
I think you should obsess over those EWAR icons down there because it's really the most telling and important piece of information here to see what's going on in the match and what everyone is doing to each other here.
Yeah, the other good metric is damage, though, and the Oneros for Razor is taking way too much, and there he goes. So now just 3 Brutixes left, and it's really interesting. I mean, it's nice getting, like you said, the EWAR effects do tell a huge part of the story. And here, it's interesting seeing the Brutixes not able to apply any damage at all, despite the fact that there were no EWAR effects on them whatsoever. They weren't being tracking disrupted. It's really just range. I think that the Brutixes are probably having a hard time keeping up, and the Cyclone and Slipner were able to move over to the Razor Oneros without the Brutixes being able to keep up.
Yeah, that's what it looks like right now. The Brutixes are chasing them around, but they can't really get on top of them to apply their damage. And they're not getting any tackles in either, although I do see that Jaguar just got webbed. It's really looking bad for Razor right now.
Yeah, obviously from here it's a huge uphill battle without a logistics, and up against the logistics of Darkside, they're really going to struggle to get anything done. I don't know if, the goal, I feel like this is often kind of the choice. Maybe what happened at the start of the match is Brutixes feel like they have to take out the Scimitar to get anything done. I mean, they do have a lot of damage, and they might be able to just burn through that damage, but they may have tried to chase the Darkside Scimitar and not been able to catch him. But we are losing a Brutix quickly. Go ahead.
I mean, it's a trade-off a lot of times to decide if you're going to chase the logistics around or just attempt to DPS through all the reps. They apparently made the wrong choice here, but it's impossible to tell.
So there goes an Ishkar. We're about to lose the first Brutix as well. Darkside should have a pretty easy time picking them apart from here. Darkside's going to be a really interesting team this year. They look really strong, which isn't surprising. Like I said, they did extremely well last year, actually being the ones to remove Pandemic Legion, I believe. And I think people would have put them as, a top tournament favorite, which may still be the case, but I also heard some rumors that they lost some of their key leadership between last year and this year. So while they do have a lot of experience, still they're missing some of their key members, and they might not be quite as strong.
They made it all the way to the Final Four before they lost to Outbreak last year. In my mind, they're the second place team from last year, so one would expect them to be the contenders here.
Who's the first place team? Oh,
Hydra Outbreak, because they were one team this year.
Yeah. So we're down to just 2 ships now left for Razor. The second Brutix is about to go. It'll be interesting to see Brutix's typically have not been popular. Like, it'd be very unusual in any of the past tournaments to see a team like Razor field Brutixes, but partially because of boosts that have happened since AT9, and partially because of the rule structure, we're going to see a lot more Tier 1 battlecruisers, and hybrid buff, along with other changes, make Brutixes and Feroxes as well perfectly viable in this tournament. So hopefully we see them fielded successfully. So far, non-Cyclone Tier 1 battlecruisers aren't doing so well. The Ferox is losing and these Brutix is losing, but I don't think we've seen the end of them, so hopefully we'll see them do well.
Oh, poor Feroxes. I can't think of a single time I've ever said a Ferox was doing good. Even though I really like that ship, I want it to do good, they just have a bad track record.
Oh, they're fantastic. It's a great PvP ship. It is. I solo in one a lot, but
Tell me more about your soloing career.
Oh, we don't have time right now. We're about to lose the final Razor ship, which seals Darkside in a really, really decisive victory. They'll obviously take the full 62.5 points, and Razor will get nothing, so they will have a difficult job.
Humiliating shutout for Razor. I feel really bad for you bros. But again, continuing the track record, the small alliances are beating the large alliances every single match in this tournament. Well, and that ends it for this match. With that, we'll see you in 10 minutes.